What is up, book nerds? We are doing an I Predict the Baltimore Ravens season. Let's go. Baltimore is coming off of another loss in the divisional round. No, not divisional round. AFC Championship to the Kansas City Chiefs after being the number one seed. In the offseason, they got Derrick Henry, this running bout to be electric. Let's hop into it. In week one, Baltimore gets their revenge on the Kansas City Chiefs in a low-scoring affair to open up the season. 16-13, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson both have very alright games. Both teams don't do really anything spectacular. Kind of a midway to start the season. Then in week two, they have a surprisingly close game against Las Vegas. I believe Gardner Minshew will be Vegas' starting quarterback. He does a surprisingly good job against Baltimore's defense. Vegas' defense holds up surprisingly well against the run game. But still, Baltimore is the far superior team and gets the win. Here we have another close game with Baltimore against Dallas. I've already talked about this in the Dallas Cowboys video. Dallas is probably the second best team they faced. I mean, they're not as good as KC, but better than Las Vegas. They hold up well. Lamar Jackson gets the win. They're slowly building up. Kind of a slow start, but this team is, in my opinion, this may be the best Baltimore team that we've seen in the Lamar Jackson era. I'm just going to say that now. Now we have a high-scoring affair against Buffalo, a shootout. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen battle out for who is the best dual-threat quarterback. Lamar Jackson wins it. I'm going to have him win it with his legs with a rushing touchdown to finish out the game. Let that be a good ending. Derrick Henry has a very good game. And if you want more thoughts on Buffalo's side of the ball, check out the Buffalo video. Okay, now we have Baltimore's first game that is more than one possession win. They beat the Bengals. I haven't decided how I feel about the Bengals. Part of me still thinks they are Super Bowl contenders. Part of me thinks that they're not as good as they were in the past. I haven't decided that for myself, but for now, I'll say Baltimore is the better team right now until I'm proven wrong. So I'll give it to Baltimore 28-19. Now we have Baltimore just smacking their Maryland rival, the Washington Commanders. Washington is a vastly inferior team. They got a rookie quarterback. They made a bunch of moves in the offseason. I don't know if any of those moves are really going to pan out in any way. Baltimore is just vastly superior on both sides of the ball. I don't know much more I could say. Now we have a 1-point game against the Bucs. This is going to be kind of surprising for people, but Baker Mayfield is going to be able to hold his own. Maybe we have like a Derrick Henry underperforms for whatever reason. And this is going to be a really close game coming down to the wire. Baltimore narrowly prevents going to OT with a Justin Tucker field goal. Okay, now we have Baltimore's first loss to the interdivision Cleveland Browns. This game is when this is going to be the game in which Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are finally stopped for once, since Cleveland has a very good defense, and I don't think this is a 17-0 quality team. So I know I had to give them some losses, and this was a very good loss for me to give them. I have some confidence in the Browns. I don't know how Deshaun Watson is panning out, but I know their defense is good. They're at least going to be competitive, and they're good enough to at least take one of the games against the Ravens. Now Baltimore just blows out the Denver Broncos. I just don't have them. I have them capping out at 24 just out of mercy. I mean, the Broncos are worse in every respect I could even think of. With this game against the Bengals, I went back and forth with this so many times. But I am going to give it to the Ravens, but it will be a 1 point game. Very good game. OT, everything. Almost a tie. Part of me wanted to make this a tie, but ties are just not common enough. So I'll give it to the Ravens because I trust them more than I trust the Bengals right now. Now we have Baltimore's second loss to my Pittsburgh Steelers, 22-17. At this point, I don't know who's Pittsburgh's starting quarterback, whether it be Russ or Justin Fields. They're going to do well. Pittsburgh was already a solid team last year. Mike Tomlin's team is always going to make it hard, especially when it comes to the case of the Ravens. They've had a storied history against each other. Yeah, the Steelers are going to be a good team. Probably, I would say the best team since I would say 2020 at least. So yeah, Steelers win. Now this game I'm really psyched for since it's the battle of the Harbaugh brothers. Let's see, Jim and John. Since I don't even know, did they go against each other after the Super Bowl when what was it? Jim was back with the San Francisco Niners. I don't know, but this is gonna be a good game. Battle between Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Los Angeles Chargers. I still don't know how I feel about them. I think Harbaugh is going to help them out a lot, but they're still not great. But they are going to put up a good showdown since it's the battle of the brothers. But it's not going to be like a one-score game or anything like that. And now against the Eagles, this is going to be a game where Baltimore is going to expose a lot of the flaws of Philadelphia. Since I'm at this point, I'm still a little cautious when it comes to Jalen Hurts since he was really good, but he had that complete meltdown at the end of the season. But this is going to be a very similar situation. They're going to be able to stop Saquon, but I think for like the first half, it'll be like a good battle between Saquon and Derrick Henry. They both have pretty good defenses, but I think Baltimore is going to be able to overpower them. Then the Ravens is going to kick the complete crap out of my Giants. They're better in every conceivable way. New York at this point, we probably threw Daniel Jones to the curb and got Drew Lock in there. Tommy DeVito, I don't even know who we're going to have, but Baltimore's going to kick our butts. And now Baltimore gets their revenge over the Steelers. This game is now, they're back in M&T Bank. Yeah, this is when Baltimore is finally able to overpower the Steelers. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. Not as close as their last showing, but it's going to be good. And now the Ravens beat the Houston Texans. This is a rematch from the divisional round. Houston keeps it much closer, but Baltimore's defense is able to overpower them. A lot of you said that the Houston Texans wore down Derrick Henry last year. But let's see, can they do it when it's a double-headed monster in the run game when you got Lamar Jackson? Plus, I feel like regular season Ravens are better, but I do have something intriguing to say in my next segment. And now it's the last game of the season. At this point, they've already cemented the fact that they are the number one seed in the AFC. They probably don't start any of their starters. It's probably all backups, but that's why it's 10 points being scored, but I feel like they will still beat the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what the Browns will have at this point. When we get to that video, I'll explain more in depth how the Cleveland Browns are doing. Sorry, I say Houston Browns. But back to Houston, yeah. Baltimore gets number one seed, gets the first round bye. but loses in the divisional round. I think to Houston or maybe to Kansas City, maybe. I don't know which one yet. But that will get its own video after all the guy predicts. So, I'll see you then. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification to be notified when I post next, and comment down below my worst take was and who you want to see next. Peace.